Welcome to World Action and Reaction News. Let's start today's news snapshot without any delay. Before starting this session, my request to you all, please press subscribe button and press bell icon for regular updates on new video upload, and also press like button if you find this video useful to you. Let's start. Aerial Delivery Research and Development Establishment, ADRD, Agra, a wing of India's Defence Research and Development Organisation, DRDO, has transferred technology to manufacture brake parachutes for India's homemade fighter jet, LCA Tejas, to Ordnance Parachute Factory, OPF, Kanpur. The documents pertaining to the technology were handed over in a function held on July 20, 2017, according to DRDO information. The documents have been duly vetted by the Centre for Military Airworthiness and Certification, CEMILOC, which is the certification authority for military aviation in India. The brake parachute for LCA Tejas is made of nylon and Kevlar material. The textile material used in the system has been developed as per ADRD specifications and is available indigenously. If airborne warning and control systems, AWACS, are considered eyes in the sky, India is battling debilitating cataract in this military arena. Even as China and Pakistan induct more such force multipliers, the IAF is faced with a double whammy due to a deadlocked deal with Israel and Russia, as well as painfully slow progress in indigenous efforts. IAF currently has only 3 AWACS, with Israeli Falcon radar systems mounted on Russian Il-76 heavy-lift aircraft, which were inducted in 2009 to 2011 under a $1.1 billion deal inked in 2004. Currently, China operating over 20 AWACS and Pakistan now has 7 such platforms, with the Chinese Karakoram Eagle ZDK-03 AWACS being the latest inductions. Landlocked but resource-rich Uzbekistan is seeking to deepen its strategic partnership with India, as it is planning to export uranium to power a growing number of nuclear plants in South Asia's biggest country. Uzbekistan's neighbor Kazakhstan has been a supplier of uranium to India since the end of the last decade. By planning to export precious item like uranium to India now, Tashkent is signaling that it desires to expand the list of its strategic partners, a local official told ET, speaking on the condition of anonymity. Uzbekistan, the 7th biggest uranium exporter in the world, will be a key player in India's plan to procure nuclear fuel to create a strategic uranium reserve. New Delhi is working to have a stockpile of nuclear fuel that can sustain the country's reactors for 5 years and ensure that they do not stop functioning in the absence of fuel. American weapons will not give New Delhi a bargaining chip in handling its China relations because it is a U.S. attempt to impose its Asia strategy on India, a state-run Chinese media said in an editorial on Monday. The U.S. is trying to tie New Delhi to its chariot, but it cannot bring about India's rise or act as a viable bargaining chip, the Global Times said. India will have to rely on itself rather than a few weapons the US is trying to sell to it for its own ambitions, the article said, adding the progress of US-India relations is subtly connected to the development of China-US ties. New Delhi's status in Asia should not be determined by Washington's China strategy, it said. While Beijing has not considered India a factor in handling its ties with Washington, the Washington-New Delhi relationship has taken the need to contain China into account, the opinion piece said. But compared to New Delhi, Beijing is more determined and capable not to be manipulated when handling its relations with other countries. India would be more mature if it could view high-level exchanges with the US without regard for any perceived need to contain China, it said. Considering the evolving threat perception, the Indian Air Force has decided to raise night flying by its combat jets from the current around 30% in all its frontline bases to have a major tactical advantage over its adversaries. IAF officials said the decision to enhance night flying is part of a move to boost overall strike capability and keep the fighter squadrons fully ready for operating in an entire 24-hour cycle. The move to increase night flying from 30% was based on a variety of factors including the evolving security scenario in our neighborhood, a senior IAF told. The warfare scenario is changing fast. We now are preparing ourselves to operate in an electronic warfare environment, and that is why we are making the changes, said the official. He said almost all IAF bases along the western and northern borders have started increasing the ratio of night flying. The United Arab Emirates wants to buy over a squadron of Sukhoi Su-35 advanced fighter jets from Russia, and the contract may be signed by the year-end, a source in the System of Military and Technical Cooperation told TASS on Tuesday. They want a lot, over a squadron, but the exact number will be specified in the course of negotiations that may be held in November during an air show in Dubai, the source said. The relevant contract may be signed by the year-end, if the negotiations are successful, the source said. TASS does not yet have an official confirmation of this information. A squadron is a tactical air force unit, which consists of formations and wings and also comprises aircraft maintenance personnel. A fighter aviation squadron in the Russian Air Force normally comprises 12 aircraft, but their exact number depends on the type of an aviation regiment. The Indian Air Force, IAF, is aggressively upgrading infrastructure on its eastern theater to boost strategic deployment of advanced assets close to the Chinese border. The infrastructure development is taking place at a very, very rapid pace in the Eastern Front. We are inducting a number of new platforms in terms of weapons, radar systems, networking systems, Air Marshal Anil Khosla, who heads the Shillong-based Eastern Air Command, told IANS. We are getting Rafale aircraft, Chinook heavy-lift helicopters and Apache attack helicopters. Recently, we have inaugurated a new C-130J squadron complex in the Eastern Air Command, he said on the sidelines of the Airfest at the Shillong Advanced Landing Ground here. Noting that Eastern Air Command is growing from strength to strength, Khosla said, we are getting ready to absorb the new technology, and in another few years, maybe 2-3 years or 5 years, it will be a very, very potent force, Eastern Air Command. As I said, the delivery has already started. The radars are already coming in. We already have C-130 and we have operationalized a lot of helicopters units such as Mi-17 and Mi-17V5 ALH, and in future we will get Chinooks, Apache, Rafale. So for all this, infrastructure is required, he said. A lot of infrastructure is coming in our airfields to house the new, radar and networking, systems. We are trying to improve the operating surfaces further so that all these fighters and heavy transport aircraft can land and take off, the Air Marshal said.
Thanks for watching. I hope you like this news. Please share your views in comment box. Please like and share this video. Press subscribe button and bell for auto update to you regarding my channel World Action and Reaction News, WARN.